2012 approximately, from what I remember.
And
So,
that means what? That novelty goes down to zero?
well, novelty. Well, it becomes more novel, in my opinion. I mean,
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
To me, it means more novel. Well, novel to me means, you know, I would laugh, about it, but it's not. I don't have the words. I don't have the ability to put things into words that some of these gentlemen do.
Let me
convey
interpret
things in words. Yeah.
Let me interpret this for you, and then you can check my reflection. I read a book called Future Shock by Alvin Toffler many years ago, who said that the rate of change is accelerating.
Oh, yeah.
And so you've got a logarithmic change scale such that everything is starting to change.
Exactly.
And it's like there are statistics which I can't quote offhand, but it's like 99% of all the innovations in human history have happened in the last year, or something like that.
As
and
of
the whole
about,
thing is going vertical.
As of about, my feeling is as of about 2 months ago, just because there's no direct marker, but maybe 2 months ago, when I started weaning myself off of morphine for 4 years.
Because you're on morphine because of, just for the record.
I don't know how to say it. They couldn't come up with it. They didn't know. No lab tests were conclusive, so it was by exclusion. They said it was just peripheral neuropathy and exhaustion. But that all happened suddenly when I left my last classified work. It just coincided with that. What it means, nobody knows. There's some guessing.
Isn't that an interesting coincidence?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, what a coincidence.
But when I said goodbye suddenly and ran away, instead of them controlling me, and then I had this shocks into my system. But the thing is about 2 months ago, something in my subconscious, I'd just been waiting patiently, basically in bed in this room for 3 or 4 years, in severe pain, screaming in pain every day almost. And Bill's experienced pushing me around in a wheelchair one time, but I thought just be patient, and using the mind I got through that. And then 2 months ago, something told me, you have to stop this. No one else is going to wean you off of this medicine. And so I had this, made a spreadsheet out, and every hour of the day that I was taking it, because I lost track of how much I was taking, it was like 180 milligrams of morphine probably a day. And it was out of control. And so something said, you need to wean yourself off now. And I don't wish that on anyone, to do that. But I got off slowly, and approximately 2 days before all of a sudden the Zurich conference happened, which was a week or so ago, I just weaned myself off, and I didn't even know about going to the conference or anything. It happened. So the timing is such, it's a message to me that, now's the time when everything starts to really move quickly.
I have to say, actually, 2 months ago, I would agree with you that there seemed to be a transition that happened. There's nothing marked in terms of in the news, but there was a sense that things started escalating, almost like rolling downhill quicker. That was the sense I got, and it's interesting that you say that, and you did. You sort of came awake and started on this sort of move that has put you on stage twice now.
But something's happened to where something that was incurable, just all of a sudden, I'm coming back to normal.
Now, from the point of view of the time acceleration matrix, that would have been the 6th day of the galactic era, and in this particular window, which goes from November 08 to November 09, there are many sort of breakthroughs. So if we're all feeling that general breakthrough feeling in our individual lives, that may be coming from the programming put out by the electromagnetic emanations from the black hole at the center of the galaxy that the Mayans called Unab-Kub, which is the center of all things. I see one, and to ask in particular Bob, Dean, and Arthur, because they've dealt so much with the area of secrecy. I find myself as one who did not come up in the culture of secrecy, but see secrecy as one of the most powerful forces between the open culture and this breakaway civilization that is the secret civilization. And I found one of the most consciousness-raising aspects to me is to hear of secrets, like the teleportation corridors to Mars,
That's right.
like the forward positions on Mars, the stargates to Australia, and to just begin to see all of these secret programs, really consciousness expanding.
Well, exactly. The information, I mean, the information itself, just to hear it, like what happened for these people yesterday on stage when you were showing photographs that were really revolutionary because they've been hidden for so long, and then to have a person who actually would get up on stage and say, I've been to Mars and here I am a human. And that was, I think, mind expanding for the audience in ways that we won't be able to even trace.
It's a historical moment.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and obviously, I don't even know if it'll go out around the world, other than because Camelot will do our bit, right? But this is the kind of thing that changes consciousness. And one of the things I have to say is that consciousness changes drastically all of a sudden. It's not like a slow, gradual. It goes along, and then from what I understand, change actually happens like that.
Well, even greater than, faster than logarithmic is my feeling.
You get step changing.
Well, I don't know if it's step changes or not. I don't know if it's like that, but digitized or not.
So, Bob, what would you say? Because you have kind of a little more pragmatic view. Correct me if I'm wrong. Along with the spiritual insight. But I think you're seeing these changes, or you know of things that are coming down the pipe that are very pragmatic for people's lives.
Well, I found secrecy actually to be corrosive to the human soul. And that's one of the reasons I have been speaking out so bluntly and so loudly for the last few years. I noticed among the masses of people that I've confronted in conferences here and there, an overriding sense of fear. And the secrecy had been taking its toll on those people. And they were fearful, and they didn't believe they had a future. They began to think there was no future, that we're all doomed. And one of the reasons I came to this conference, and I gave it a lot of thought before I accepted the invitation, because I don't like traveling anymore. I really don't like flying in airplanes anymore. And I came here to, I think, alleviate in one small way the secrecy that I had observed was corrosive to the human soul. And I wanted to tell the people, and this audience in particular, to meet some people like Alfred here, who is a man I've respected and admired for years. There is hope. In spite of all of the darkness, in spite of all of the fear, I would like to say to the people who are interested in listening that there is a tomorrow, there is a future, and they and their children and their grandchildren and so on, the generations yet to come, do indeed have a future, and it's glorious. And they've got to hold on to that spark of belief. They've got to hold on to that hope. And it's why I quoted Tolstoy yesterday when I was speaking, when he mentioned that there is something within the human spirit that will prevail and endure. There's a spark that's burning in the human heart that will not go out, no matter how dark the world ever becomes. And I have tried in my small way to convey that to the people. And I was so gratified at the response that I got. They've come up to me literally by the hundreds. I mean, I say this in no negative intent, but they haven't let me alone. The idea that I've said something hopeful and tell them that they do have a tomorrow, they have a future, that their children and grandchildren we'll go to the stars.